also wanted to tell you about this one girl in particular. I got a phone call, and they had this young girl, and she was just acting bizarre. They just couldn't put their finger on it. I think they said at some point, instead of speaking and talking, she started spouting out like alphabet letters, like spelling, but just really weird, and beating her head against the wall. Well, obviously that's demonic, you know, oppression, possession, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm not into are they possessed or it doesn't matter. We don't have to go there. We're not playing games. See, this is not a game. This is real. And you have to walk in a certain way so that you're protected, okay? And when you're doing this, which I will teach in the next series that follows, which is how to do what I do, how to heal people. God told me to do it. He told me to have this series for people to get them healed. And then he told me the next series is to teach people how to heal, just like I do. So you have to walk a certain path. You know, you keep your spiritual doors shut. You don't get into sin, you know. All that's taken care of. Don't get me wrong. I make mistakes every once in a while. We all do here and there. But you shut the door quickly. And you just don't venture down that trail. You just do what you're supposed to do. As you learn, as you read, and I'll teach it more in the next series, you'll see that there are certain things we say and do at certain times, and that's it. Well, what I want to tell you about this girl, she obviously had a lot of demons all over her. I don't know how many. I don't know. Well, anyway, put her on the phone with me. And so I asked the Holy Spirit, I said, okay, what's on her, you know? And apparently, one of the demons was from childhood. And that was the one manifesting by spelling. You know, like a little child, spelling and talking like a little child. So, I just prayed it off of her. That and a couple others. She was perfectly fine and has absolutely no memory. And that's what I was going to tell you. Most people, it's been my experience, that have more than 2 or 3 on them, they will scream at you, curse you, throw things at you, and when it's all over with, they have absolutely no memory of it. Because, unfortunately, that unclean spirit has been there quite a while, and they're familiar with it. If they're comfortable, they think it's them. They think it's part of them, whatever they think, and it's not so. And I have found that they will have absolutely no memory of what just happened, or what they did to somebody. I mean, they'll call you a liar, because they wouldn't do that. Well, that's the unclean spirits. So, if you have teenagers, or other people in your house, and they're just, you know, they just get really mean, just really cruel, that's an unclean spirit. And I will tell you that I had a young girl, I'll never forget this, I've been teaching her, it's actually my granddaughter, I've been teaching her since she was born. You know, I mean, if you stay around me, you're going to learn, because this is what I do, and what I talk about, and this is what I do. That's my ministry. I get calls from people, I pray on the phone for them, and I get in the car and drive, and I go do all these things. So anyway, so she knows. So she, every time she'd get in the car with me on the weekend, she'd be so excited, she'd just talk my head off. Well, this day she got in the car. She was about 12. And she was like, don't talk to me. And I'm like, you know, that was very strange. And I went, what's wrong with you? Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Just leave me alone. Well, that's very unusual. That is not her personality. She's a sweet, fun, loving child. And so I'm driving and I'm thinking, this is not going to be good. So anyway, I didn't say anything else to her because she was just in a really mean mood. And she's not a mean person. So we get to my house, and I said to her, I said, I'm going to pray those unclean spirits. No, you're not. She takes off running through the house. Well, I just took off running, chasing her. And I was just praying over her. I bound up those unclean spirits, commanding them to get off her like that. And I'm chasing her through the house. She's screaming, no, no, and I'm chasing her. And so when I got through, I went back to the kitchen, and I was starting to peel potatoes or something to cook. And she was in the other room for a few minutes. She come in, she said, oh, thank you. I feel so much better. Thank you, Gammy. I feel so much better. I didn't know. And I said, well, honey, that's what it was. And, of course, I explained it to her. And she said, I did not want you to pray for me. I wanted you to stay away from me. And she says, but now that you have it off of me, she said, I feel so much better. I feel like me. Well, I've done that twice with her. It's only happened twice in 14 years. And it just goes to show you, they'll tell you, that unclean spirit will look at you, of course, through the person's eyes or whatever, and say, no, you can't pray for me. And yes, we do need their authority at certain times, which is what we'll learn in the healing series we're going to do after this.